Very good afternoon. Namaskar. After having good lunch, we are here again to wake you up and take you through the journey of geospatial technologies, how they are accelerating the national development in various sectors and various projects, mission mode projects. First of all, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to AGI, Mr. Pramod Kaushik, President, and his entire team for giving us this opportunity to come here and share our experience and thought and deliberate on the contribution of the geospatial technologies in national development. With me, I have a very eminent fellow panelists. They are well known, but still I would like to introduce them. It's a pleasure to introduce my panelist, Mr. Sonmani Bora, IAS officer. He is Joint Secretary in the Department of Land Resources, Government of India. We all have been hearing from him in many conferences, and he is the one who is really piloting and driving the major project DLRMP. Then we have Dr. S.P. Agrawal, Director, Northeast Space Application Center. We all know that they have been contributing in various activities or various projects in Northeast. And then we have Shri Vinay Babu, National Head, Business Development Hexagon. We just heard him also, and will still take his views on these applications. Then we have Sumit Senji. He is GISE Hub, IIT Bombay, and he is a passionate professional who has been always leading in the front and taking or contributing from academia side as far as the geospatial is concerned. Now, when we say that contribution of the geospatial technologies in accelerating national development, the few mission mode projects which come to my mind, which have really accelerated the pace, is one we have all have been hearing in the morning. Survey General also said, and various panelists also said, CORS, Continuous Operating Reference Station Network. We all know that Great Trigonometrical Survey was started in 1802, and it took almost 50 years to complete that. They didn't know how to start, from where to start, and what challenges they faced. No communication, no roads, no nothing. Still, they had the will to do it. And even till today, the GT stations are equally relevant and their accuracy is very precise. We have among us Dr. B. Nagarajan, who is one of the geodetic experts of the country, I'll say, and maybe even abroad also, is well known. He is the one who had been driving the GCP library, and then he was giving the concept of CORS also. So the CORS, then these passive stations of GT stations, whatever was there is the best possible available at that time. But then again, labor intensive, you need to occupy them. They were on hilltops. Then came the national map policy, and we had the GCP library using GPS. But the CORS has brought a paradigm shift in as far as the development is concerned, because now seamlessly any user can get it very easily, very easy to use, very accurate in a fraction of seconds. So this has brought down the cost of preparing even the DPR for various projects. Whether you talk of the national highway, or you take any railway project or airport project, the CORS has started contributing, or the land resources department, the urban. The CORS has really accelerated the pace and reduced the cost, and very easy to use. You don't have to be an expert. Before CORS, if you have to use GPS, you need to know data processing. You need to know from where you are getting, what you are getting. But here you don't have to know anything. You just take a rover, put it at a place where you desire to have your point, and you will get coordinates within few minutes, accurate to few centimeters. So this is what is desirable. We don't have to make every person, every user as a GIS professional or a surveyor. No, it's not required. He should be a user. So this has simplified the way of using it, and better productivity and more accuracy. Then along with this, how it is further contributing, the CORS has got these stations have got the capability of weather profiling. We have started exploiting this and I think Survey of India and Met Department, IMD, they have already started talking to each other for last 1 year. They have Met sensors on top of it, which can do very precise weather profiling. I don't know whether many of you are aware of this capability or not. And it is very, even the lightning, thunder, you can predict cloudburst to very accurate to few hours. And then you can relate and you can imagine that the kind of disaster which can be averted. So these are the capabilities as the CR is concerned. Another major scheme or the government program which technology has contributed much more is the Swamitwa. We all know that Swamitwa is a flagship program of the government of India. But how the technology has accelerated it? In 2019, when the first time the problem statement came to me from Maharashtra, that they have 44,000 villages. And in last 15 years, they could complete only 5,000 villages. So remaining 40,000 are yet to be done. And there is a Abadi area, in village we have Abadi area, which were yet to be mapped. So Maharashtra, because they had a concept of city survey, because of the erstwhile Bombay province, Maharashtra and Gujarat had, but the rest of the country didn't have. So these Abadi areas in the rest of the country also never surveyed. So they said that we have surveyed, but we have taken 15 years to complete 5,000. So at this pace, they will take 50 years to do this. So then we thought of using all the geospatial technologies, and I'm very happy to inform that each and every best possible technology, whether it was drone, whether it is a CORS, whether it is a cloud platform, online data processing, online data transmission, online data accessibility, you name any geospatial application, and they all were used in Swamitwa. As on today, this scheme was launched in 2020, 24th April 2020 on the National Panchayati Day, when the country was complete lockdown. 24th April 2020, we were all locked down, under lockdown. Nobody could move even from their house to the neighbor. Nobody could even see their relative in the hospital, but we inducted our teams in the field. 28th April, first team from Survey of India moved for the survey, because Honorable Prime Minister has launched it, and he has given a target till in 1 year for 75,000 villages. And if we keep saying that now there is a lockdown, then nothing can be done. So you can imagine, as on today, more than 3 lakh villages have already been surveyed and mapped. 5,000 villages, 15 years. 3 lakh villages in 3 years. Because 1 year, 20 and 21, half of the time was wasted in a lockdown. Then there was a problem in supply chain. The instruments were not coming. In India, we hardly had any company who was manufacturing drones. So complete ecosystem of the drone has been developed. So they are all contributing to the national development. So Swamitwa is one where it is citizen-centric to reduce property disputes, to monetize the properties, to help each and every. I remember when our teams used to go to the field, the entire village used to gather and they used to garland our team. In my life, I have never seen any surveyor getting this kind of response for any survey. We used to go and everybody say survey वाले आए हैं, बाहर टेंट लगा के बैठे हैं, चाहे वो शमशान में टेंट लगा के बैठे होंगे. But to welcome them, to garland them and extend each and every support from the villagers. This is what the technology has contributed in national development. One more major flagship program of the Government of India, Namami Gange. Namami Gange and the National Hydrogen Project both were together only from the same ministry. And what was the desired output was 50 centimeter dam, 5 kilometers on either side of the Ganga, very high resolution data so that they know that which are the points of pollution and how to solve them, solve their problems, what are the slopes and the flooding pattern, and use river Ganga as a communication channel also. Again using technology, LiDAR, optical cameras and even vehicle based 3D cameras, everything was used to provide data to Namami Gange, and I'm sure we have representative of the Namami Gange and they won the award also. And this is how this special geospatial technology has contributed. Then one more very innovative project of the Government of India was regeneration of the springs. We all know that in hilly areas, springs are very important source of water, even for the citizen also, even for the defense forces also, because how can you carry water from the river to the top? So mostly they were depending on the springs. And somehow over a period of time, the springs have been depleting. Either they have been damaged or they have depleted. So, and nobody knows what is the, from where the source of the spring and how to regenerate it. So we carried out LiDAR survey in one of the districts, and we could pinpoint that these are the possible spring locations, and this was the pattern, but they have dried up or they are still there. And in Arunachal Pradesh and Northeast, this has been a success story to regenerate springs. So these are certain hidden stories which, and we all know that in smart city, we have been debating since morning that smart cities applications are being used. In power line inspection, the thermal sensors are being used for power line inspection, because climbing on tower and risky also, dangerous also, and you need a lot of manpower to keep climbing and then giving you the report, and then certain things they can't even see. So we have used thermal sensors to detect heat loss. So one can imagine that thing which used to take months together with a long team, you can finish in a one day. So definitely, firstly, it is improving the power supply. Second, it is reducing the cost of the maintenance. And third, then human lives are saved. So technology has, in India, it is already contributing. Agriculture is another area where we say the crop assessment, even the crop damage, every year we have a lot of unpredictable rainfall, and there is a damage to the crops. It affects each and every livelihood of the farmer. So how to assess it? So again, the technology, special technologies are being used to assess the crop damage and to give them relief, and to also help them in removing or taking care of the flooded areas. So there is a long list. The time is short, 10 minutes. You can only count on finger, but as far as I am sure that in times to come, this geospatial technologies will further accelerate the process. I didn't talk of the DLRMP because we have Mr. Sonmani Bora who will touch upon this main mission, again flagship program of the Government of India. But there is long list. And we have big professionals, we have very well set up industry, and most of the departments now they are aware of the power of the geospatial technologies, and they are very effectively utilizing in each and every mission mode project for the furtherance of the national development. Now I'll talk to my panelists and get their views also. So my first question to my colleague Mr. Sonmani Bora is, we all know that Department of Land Resources has undertaken DLRMP project. Yeah. DLRMP project to update the land records or to modernize the land records, and not only land records, even to modernize the record rooms also. So I'll just request him to tell us what are the key accomplishments of the program so far and what role have geospatial technologies played in them.
Thank you, Girishji. So I'd like to compliment Sri Pramod Kaushikji, entire AGI team, all the other partners, my esteemed colleagues, Vishnu Dutt is also here, especially ISRI, Hexagon, Geospatial World, so all involved with this leadership summit. I also congratulate my esteemed panelist colleagues who have come all the way for this summit. So I have a presentation, but then I'll skip to just 5, 6, maybe I can speak from there also. Okay. Yeah. So thank you, Girishji. You have already given an overview of what's happening in the country, especially in the sphere of survey, resurvey. And when I was sitting there, I could see that Hexagon also made a very nice presentation on the applications they have developed. And I could see the Kerala story, and Kerala is actually the latest story as of now. Two models are emerging. One is the AP model. Then of course Haryana model is also there, spearheaded by Girishji. But this Kerala is also because when you start late, you are not only updated, you also know that what went wrong or what took much time to undo certain things or rectify certain things. So Kerala has that advantage, and as they had assured that within 5 years they will do the resurvey entire state. And I know around 1500 villages they may be having, plus minus. So this is one story, but in terms of replication, maybe some of the things we can replicate in the country. But AP also has another story to tell, where you have a playground where three. I mean, it's not entire state is not the same, that canvas. So you need to have different strategy as far as resurvey is concerned. So these are technologies which come handy for the administrator and for the system. But resurvey also involves a lot of governance and regulatory part. So when we talk about other surveys, maybe they may be having some SOPs or guidelines, but when land survey is concerned, so it actually gives us a altogether different story, because it starts with the regulatory part, regulations as far as land survey, resurvey is concerned. Then of course the technology part, because it used to be time taking. The gestation period used to be long, human resource issues, deployment, so many issues are there. Then of course is service delivery, because once it is done, so whether this survey actually fulfill the intended objectives and whether it is now ready for the public service, effective delivery of land related or services for ease of living of the citizens. So I think these three things are extremely important. So I'll quickly go. So we all know that I think it has been already discussed at length how actually this touches the economy, infrastructure and governance, and you have all these ready-made data to prove that why it is so significant or important. We all know that 66% of the cases in the civil courts today pertains to land and property, or especially boundary dispute, ownership disputes, so and so forth. Likewise, X number of land is actually entangled in the disputes. So what is the tune that actually it can unlock the potential in the economy itself? It could be 1.3% of the GDP. I mean, so and so forth. So all these studies are there. Some are old, some are new, but one can always underscore that land and land records, if it is in order, it can immensely actually contribute not only for the economy or infrastructural projects, but also for governance, because end result is the governance. We are a democracy, so we look forward that all this technology, all these initiatives finally should bring in less, minimum, as we say, the minimum government and maximum governance. So it should create an enabling environment. So I'm not dwelling on this, what our department does. The historical legacy, we all know, so I'm not again, because after post-lunch it is a very heavy session sometimes. So, but you can see that we have entered a very crucial phase. So I like the theme of the, this leadership summit, because you're talking about national now development. So next 25 years, as our Honorable PM has also given a clarion call that, during this Azadi Ka Amrit Kal, when we enter next 25 years, going to be very crucial when we complete 100 years. So nevertheless, the geospatial technologies are going to be here, and it has already started touching our lives, worldwide. And whatever we do, whatever we think, or whatever way we look at things will be actually, directly or indirectly will be influenced by geospatial technology, whether as a planner, whether as an investor, whether, whatever you can think of. So it will touch you. Your thinking process will be touched by geospatial technology, because many analytics will come up and you will be influenced by that. So it is readily available, and it is handy going to be. So DLRMP already, Giriji has already talked about this thing. So I'll just give you the latest position. See, from manual process we moved to computerization. That was the basic thing. Then of course digitization also in a very limited sense or definition, because most of the states we thought that just scanning of the documents and making some kind of improvement is actually digitization. So now entire focus is as we enter in the second phase and going ahead with third phase, and some of the second generation reforms which we have already brought in the land governance system. So the entire focus is georeferencing, because unless and until the locational information is immediately forthcoming, so whatever data we have created, actually it cannot make a sense for a decision to make, or for any other projects. So henceforth the entire focus is georeferencing, so that apart from knowing the attributes of the land parcel, we also know the exact location. So that is where we are focusing now, and whether next 25 years or maybe shortly, maybe next 5 years, whether we are ready, GIS ready preparedness for the land governance for the country. So this is again to show that how we have the land administration. You will see that there are three key parts. One is the land records, then of course is the property registration part, and third is the mutation. Again, giving someone new, through mutation you give ownership to a new person when the property transaction takes place, or when there is an inheritance case is disposed of. So there are two ways to get the new ownership. But then whether these are reflected on the textual part as well as the spatial part. So that is where we are focusing now, and we are going ahead with some of the reforms. So I'll just quickly, then of course, as the third part comes, where the service delivery is important, then we look at the 360-degree integration. Because whatever we have now created, or whatever some other stakeholder has created, so whether these information can seamlessly flow or interact with both the systems or multiple systems. So that is where the land records will definitely play a key role, as well as far as land related services are concerned. So you can now here see that this registration process, the land records part, revenue administration, and also e-courts, because disputes are also pertaining to, so these systems should now seamlessly interact, so that now this is ready for effective public service delivery. And now third generation reforms, which is much required now. I think all our other partners like Hexagon, ISRI, our NIC, so they will play a key role as far as now we have already gone ahead with introducing blockchain, machine learning, artificial intelligence, because these are going to, because since it's a mammoth country with 1.4 billion people, and the dealings are going to be very complex. So here all these situations will definitely take care of many of the malpractices or bring in more transparency as far as these tools are concerned. So here you can see, some of these states have really done exceptionally well. And here I am just showing you that, 8 states you can see that the basic digitization, they have completely 100% they have done, annuities. And as far as integration of cadastral map and ROR, because this is also important, so this is an important preparedness for the second and third generation or next generation reforms. So these preparedness are required. But you can see that out of these 36 states and UTs, they are at different level. So as we focus on saturation, but at the same time, those who are already prepared, for example, some of these key components when ready, then we can go for auto-triggered mutation. So unless and until some preparedness is not there, so they cannot actually, even if they claim, so they cannot do actually auto-triggered mutation. Then another aspect is auto-triggered mutation maybe in textual part, but what about the cadastre? So we are looking at that how some of these states can take the lead, taking care of the third part, which is the mutation, but mutation has to be auto-triggered mutation, so that all systems run together. Another thing, why during the property registering process itself, why someone cannot pay the fee for mutation as well? So everything is pre-sketch, registering, because otherwise again you will have to pay somewhere else. So we are trying to squeeze the timeline, whether this is possible, and this is possible. With the help of technology today, it is all possible. So I think we are looking at a very whole of government approach rather than standalone system. So one is the integration, 360-degree integration, but as well as the service delivery. In order to be effective, effective doesn't mean that it is online, just online. It has to be time bound, and how we can squeeze the time, the stages, how we can reduce the process, and how it is transparent. Another example in this mutation itself. So I'm not like cyber tehsil. One concept has come from Madhya Pradesh. Like in IT returns, we have today faceless, this thing. We don't know that whatever we have filed for income tax, it's gone somewhere. Maybe it has gone. So used to be in your local office, but now it's no longer. So same principle can actually work for mutation also. So suppose your local tehsildar is absent. Suppose your local tehsildar office he's been transferred and the new hasn't joined. Suppose the local tehsildar on leave. So many issues. Suppose he is busy in protocol. Okay. Suppose there is a VVIP program coming up and he is busy. So he won't do your mutation. But then this is now possible that given some conditions fulfill, like if it is the full size of transaction of the property, or it is undisputed, so it can go to some faceless tehsildar. We call it cyber tehsildar or whatever. They may be sitting somewhere else, maybe sitting in Bhopal or some place. So they can they also do not know that they just check the thing, and the local patwari can just trigger the information required, or he can have access with the land records, and from there only he can digitally sign and dispose of the case. So just imagine that that level of service delivery actually we look at. So that is where we are now working, and many states have already gone ahead, like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, many progressive, like Maharashtra today, you have this online registration is also now possible. Some of the articles you don't require to go. Suppose Vishnu Dutt has a flat in Pune, and he wants to give it for on rent. Okay, so Girish is there in Pune, but ideally, I mean, otherwise in traditional situation, you would have gone to Pune, at least for 2-3 days. You have taken a flight and going there, execute the deed and come back. But now it is possible that the service provider will come to your house in Delhi and he will execute in Pune itself. So this is now possible, and we have allowed also, because DOLR is also a regulatory role also we have, like as far as Registration Act is concerned, or land acquisition, some of the administration we do. So we have allowed. We have also allowed conclusive titling now. The AP is the first state which has now gone ahead with conclusive titling, which is an ideal situation, as far as this torrent system is concerned. But we hope that the Indian version of torrent system will, looking at our own context and issues, I think we are working on that, and we have encouraged our states to adopt and going ahead with this kind of ideal situation, because last so many years we have been talking about we have presumptive titling, we need to switch over to conclusive, but whether we are ready, because the readiness is important. Once it is ready, whether our regulations can take care of these arrangements, and whether our service delivery system is effective enough to deliver. So some of these experiments we are doing, and I'll just quickly go ahead, and some of the innovations I'll here. One is e-registration. We are already doing that in the registration part. We have also come out with a software, generic software, NGDRS. You are already aware. The latest adoption by is Delhi. Delhi has now switched over from DORIS to NGDRS. So we are not saying that this is the best or perfect system, but it is evolving, and some of the pioneer states have their equivalent software. What we are telling that when we look at pan-India, so our approach has to be pan-India, because if Giriji is in Haryana or Gurugram, if he goes to Karnataka, he should feel ease, because the system should be same. Because now, if all states have different systems and different stages and processes, so it will make it more complex. So we are trying that some of these modules would be the basic, where whether it is your software or our software, it should give that flavor of the minimum basic standards. So here Alpin, we have a small 3-minute video also. So I think most of you are already aware that this is one number, like we have a Aadhaar number for every individual. So now we are trying for a land parcel unique identification number. Traditionally, we all have survey number, survey is going on, but then there is always a duplicacy, there is a chance of duplicacy. The same number may be repeated in the next village. So now with this alphanumeric number, that duplicacy or all those things will be put into end. And this number is also a very powerful number ultimately. Like individual Aadhaar number can fetch all information about you. So likewise, this number is going to be fetching all information related to the land parcel. Ideally, we know that most of these attributes and informations is available in the ROR, Record of Rights. And as most of the systems are going to be interlinked, so this number will be the catalyst. Actually, from this number you can get all the information, whether it is mortgage, whether some case is going on, what is the legacy data, and as we move for blockchain and all, so this is going to actually play the pivotal role. So you can play the video, And last but not the least, the e-code system we are already working on, and we are hopeful that next 3 to 4 months from now, the protocol will be established, and some of the states have already gone ahead, Haryana or UP, now it is possible. It will definitely ease out disposal of cases. Maybe at the admission stage itself, the court may say, no, I mean, you have nothing to prove actually later, so it is disposed of. Because many times what happens, some frivolous, allegation or petition will come, and it will be admitted, and it will go for a long time. Then after 2-3 years, you'll get to know that there was no substance. So this is where we are working, and I again thank all the organizers and stakeholders and participants. All the very best, and geospatial technology is going to play the pivotal role in our all lives and in governance as well. Thank you. To play card.
रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए एक नेशनल सिस्टम और एक यूनिक लैंड आइडेंटिफिकेशन पिन एक बहुत बड़ी सुविधा होगी। लैंड रिकॉर्ड के डिजिटाइजेशन और डिमार्केशन से जुड़े समाधानों को आधुनिक टेक्नोलॉजी से जोड़ना आज की जरूरत है। आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव का विजन है अखंड भारत और श्रेष्ठ भारत, और देश के कोने कोने तक हो प्रौद्योगिकी और तकनीक का विस्तार। अर्थव्यवस्था में देश के नागरिक और उसकी भूमि सबसे महत्वपूर्ण घटक होते हैं। 12 अंकों वाला आधार कार्ड देश के 130 करोड़ लोगों की डिजिटल पहचान कहा जाता है। तो वहीं अब ये भू आधार यूनिक लैंड पार्सल आइडेंटिफिकेशन नंबर देश की भूमि को भी मिल गया है। यूनिक लैंड पार्सल आइडेंटिफिकेशन नंबर यानी भू आधार भूखंडों की पहचान के लिए एक निर्बाध और कुशल प्रक्रिया प्रदान करता है। भू आधार से पहले जहां लैंड डिमार्केशन, लैंड डेटा एनालिसिस, ट्रांसफर ऑफ डेटा, मैनेजमेंट ऑफ मास्टर डेटा एक चुनौतीपूर्ण कार्य था, लेकिन भूमि संसाधन विभाग ने मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी और डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी के सहयोग से डिजिटल इंडिया लैंड रिकॉर्ड मॉडर्नाइजेशन प्रोग्राम के तहत 14 अंकों की अल्फान्यूमेरिक प्रणाली के विकास से एक ऐसी कार्य प्रणाली का निर्माण किया जो पूरी तरह से सत्यापित और निर्बाध है। यूनिक लैंड पार्सल आइडेंटिफिकेशन नंबर भूमि पार्सल की पहचान की एकत्रित प्रणाली, एप्लीकेशन प्रोग्रामिंग इंटरफेस, अंतरराष्ट्रीय स्टैंडर्ड्स, ECCMA और OTC के मानकों का अनुपालन करता है। भू आधार भूखंड के जियो कोऑर्डिनेट्स अर्थात अक्षांश और देशांतर को प्रयोग करके जनरेट किया जाता है। साथ ही भूमि अभिलेखों को डिजिटाइज, सत्यापित, इजी टू एक्सेस और इजी टू शेयर किया, लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स की डुप्लीकेशन को कम किया, ट्रांसपेरेंसी को एनहांस किया, लोन लेने की प्रक्रिया को आसान बनाया, स्वामित्व संबंधित जानकारी में सटीकता आई, बेनामी संपत्ति के मामलों में कमी आई। भू आधार की अहमियत को साल 2022-2023 के बजट में भी बताया गया। बजट के पैराग्राफ 74 में कहा गया कि भूमि संसाधनों के कुशल और सशक्त इस्तेमाल के लिए जरूरी है कि राज्य को विशिष्ट भूखंड पहचान संख्या अपनाने के लिए प्रोत्साहित किया जाए। इसी सोच के साथ आगे बढ़ते हुए देश के 27 राज्यों और केंद्र शासित प्रदेशों ने भू आधार को लागू कर दिया है एवं इसी के साथ 6 राज्यों में इसकी पायलट टेस्टिंग भी पूरी हो चुकी है। अब जमीन बंटवारे के लिए न होंगे झगड़े और न पड़ेंगी बिछोड़ियों की मार, क्योंकि आ गया है भू आधार।
Thank you, Mr. Sanmani Bora, for updating us on the various visionary initiatives taken by the Department of Land Resources in improving the land management, land governance, ease of living, and taking us from that Latha Patwari to the cyber Tehsildar. So I'm sure we all own some piece of land somewhere or other, and it's going to make our life much more easier. In any case, it is a major contribution to the national development. Any questions, because he has to leave for some other meeting. So any questions for him, then we can take on immediately before we move on to the next.
Where are you placed between the two models, the AP model, Kerala model? Where do you feel that you're tending to go towards?
This program allows three different methodologies. Unlike Swamitra, because look at the diversity of the country, and there is different requirements, because same technology may not be handy for example, like drone flying, as they have rightly said, that may not be good for Kerala or even Lakshadweep, because we are facing a lot of issues. So maybe within the state also, like in AP, for example, there are 3,000 villages where this network issue is still there. It's a hilly terrain and very untouched, places. So we always allow, multiple technologies or methodologies to adopt. So it is always hybrid. So we'll take some good things from Kerala, learning, because this mobile app and all these things. Because the people's engagement is also extremely important. Like the Google does, they always ask you what is your feedback, whether it was benefit. So same engagement we also want to do as far as this resurvey or survey is concerned. Because during British time, there is a possibility that people who are not engaged, because they had a different motive for revenue collection or tax, collection. But it is not the motive as of now. It is, our motive is development, and how quickly we can leverage for development. So I think we will continue to support all three methodologies. Like Chhattisgarh has now thought of going by LiDAR. So it's costlier, but they're ready, so it's all about the readiness, and we'll keep on promoting. Yes. Thank you.
Any other question? Yeah, sir.
I just wanted to know what sort of map projection is used in this cast of coordinates. Projection, because whatever the latitude, longitude you are getting in GPS is a three-dimensional one.
Yeah.
You are going to put it on two-dimension, orthogonal coordinates. How are you thinking it's going to add up? You need to have projection. Are you still sticking on the Survey of India, UTM projection or Cassini-Solna? Is there any idea they have done? Because you will be going, say, like 3 lakh villages is telling. As you go exactly, you have to know how you are going to represent the coordinates, right? You cannot give it in latitude, longitude to all of them. They won't understand. You have to go into some projection coordinates, whether it's in UTM or it's some other projection. Is there any concept? Because when you're coming for the pin, because earlier that was told that they had to identify in what sort of projection, universal projection you are going to use for the whole country. Any decision taken on that one?
See, it can capture all three, X, Y, Z. Z we are still working, and DST, along with DST, we are working on this. We have a concept paper we can share with you, and we might get your valuable this thing also. But as of now, it is 2D, because 3D dimension, because of multi-storied building. So I think that is the most the critical part, because as we move to urban area or peri-urban area, so I think, but as of now, this is in the pilot stage. And can you identify yourself?
No, I am not asking for the three-dimension part of it. What I am asking is the land records, they have to refer to the land which is a plane, terrain plane, right? And then when you are going to use the GPS and get the coordinates, it's going to be a three-dimensional coordinates. You need to do a projection. Earlier we used to use what we call Cassini-Solna projection we used to use. That was small villages. It is applicable up to 70 kilometers. Now since you are taking up a national effort to come up and you are giving this thing, is there any decision taken on what sort of projection to be used? Because according to the projection, the accuracy also will change. Is it okay? That's what the idea, because once I talked to NSDI, they were telling that they are finalizing what sort of projection and what is being, that was, like Acharya told me. Now, since now the identification has started, have they started understanding what is the projection which will be used
can I-
nationwide.
Yes, yes.
First, sir, you can identify yourself, whether I will introduce you. He's Dr. B. Nagarajan. He's a professor now at IIT Kanpur.
Okay.
Ex-Survey of India retired officer. He completed his service in Survey of India and then joined IIT Kanpur. And I said that he is the one geodetic expert in the country. And his question is purely on that geodesy only. Sir, what has been done, this Alpine has been designed by DST only. DOLR is just implementing agency, and they have gone along with the same Survey of India pattern only. No further, ministry has not taken any decision to
Yeah,
do this.
because
They
why
are
I'm
depending
asking
on
is-
technical advice by Survey of India or DST.
Yeah, because see, the team working on is this Mr. Acharya.
Acharya.
So I can get you connected.
No, he knows it.
He may be knowing. Yeah.
He is asking him only.
He told me that, we said we are trying to finalize on the map projection to be used. Which one will be? I asked, are you going for the UTM, whichever they are.
In any case, not
open source
Cassini,
map?
not Cassini, it's a UTM only.
Yeah,
UTM,
but how do we do that? That's what, I mean, it's a question of,
standards.
aggregation. That is the main thing. My doubt was, yeah.
Sir, I can just say that it's not yet resolved, one, because I am a little bit aware, and in Maharashtra, I want to, when I come to it, so in Maharashtra, we are working with this problem right now. In fact, there is a startup in IIT Bombay that is looking at that problem, but yes, it is UTM right now. Nothing else has been resolved, as far as I know. Maybe I don't know further.
Since
Thank
once you are going for a national and start planning that I'm going to have a single, then you have to rethink about it.
Yes, yes. No, very right.
Because UTM on a scale of 1 is 25,000 or 50,000 is wonderful.
Not in
Because
such
when
large
you are
scale.
converted. But now you're going to talk about 1 is to 1,000, 1 is to 2,000 level land records, then that projection will not fit in. And if you're going to aggregate it, it's not that like I was telling, we went from part to whole. Okay, new technology you can think of in this one, whether it is technically correct or not, has to be talked of. Because you're talking of a global. And also second thing is, most of the states, they've expressed that land records are in the legacy format. At least I know about the Gujarat part of it. They were telling whatever written in that record. you know,
Yeah,
if,
that will
it
override.
is
That
written
will
like-
override.
It's a legal document, sir.
Huh?
It's a legal document.
Yeah. What I'm trying that you need to adjust that one, whatever is missing.
Of
For
course,
example,
of
you
course,
were
of course. See, here also you cannot be 100%. As far as accuracy is concerned, you cannot say that. This is the 100% because whether it takes to the centroid or some of the vertices, this is an issue. But it is near about, you can say, accuracy, 100% accuracy, because still I think we need to work. Even ECMA standard, it is a draft, this thing only is yet to be decided. So many things are coming up. That is why the linking of ROR is important, because whatever is written in ROR, we will actually, this is a disclaimer, that will take. But at least, suppose A comes and says that this is my, record of rights. I am from X village, but now the location is not known, So this is the advantage, is that you at least know the location, In traditional method, it will be written, all the neighbors name, Uttar mein kaun hai, Dakshin mein kaun hai. But at least here you know that yes, this actually exists. This number cannot be otherwise generated unless it is your referenced. So at least that assurance is there. And even in survey, another issue is coming up. How you reconcile the issues, when you go for resurvey. For example, Andhra Pradesh. So what they are saying that you show me the boundary. I am not going by what is written in your ROR. Suppose Girishji, you tell me this is your boundary, but like yes, this is my boundary. Then they measure it. You got a point? When they measure it, suppose it comes out less than what is written. Suppose it comes out more what is written. They are saying no. You had yourself shown that this is your boundary and undisputed, you have been tilling here. So now it will be adjusted accordingly. So this is one method. It may click in some place, it may not click in some place, because some places 20% people will still contest. No, I know if it is written X, you cannot make it X minus 1.
If it is
So-
more, it is mine. If it is less, give me more.
Yeah, it is a general tendency. So these issues are there, and
Any national policy is being taken on that one. What I'm
Sir,
asking is,
इसमें जो 3 lakhs, I'll answer, sir, in brief. 3 lakh villages which I mentioned, they are all isolated pockets. That is not a seamless data, 3 lakh villages. Here also the state-wise what we are doing, like in case of Haryana we have done, we have taken a small portion where the distortions are minimum. It is not that complete Haryana has been made seamless and there is one grid. No, it is not this. The error and the shape and the size is being taken into consideration, at least in Haryana. I don't know about AP and Kerala, but in Haryana we have made sure that distortions are the minimum and area and shape and size is preserved. So that projection part is taken, because ultimately we need to generate alpine. So small pockets we are handling.
and it is
then
very
only we are
encouraging.
going
Like in AP case also, almost 90% people have.
It's a server
reconciled.
funded-
They said
executing
ki
agencies
instead
against
of
server
contesting for years, so now we have a at least things are in order and it is been reflected. It may not be 100%
So
mirror.
we'll take your guidance
yeah,
further and
definitely.
we'll continue, because
you need to, sorry, you only gave me the leave to ask.
And we
maybe,
have,
but at least you
we
have
have
flagged
set
the
up
issue.
we have set up a advisory committee also. I think if you are willing, so we can.
I am telling you, it will be worth taking in.
Yeah.
Anything related to geodesy and framework,
Yes.
he is the right person.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please, not on this subject, because I have my other fellow panelists, and time is also short, and he had to leave. So I would like to convey. I'll convey my sincere thanks to Mr. Bora for taking out time and coming here and deliberating with us and updating.
Thank you
us
so
on
much. My apology because, but Agarwalji, you have a very honest task because you are sitting in Shillong, and I just like to inform that Northeast, some of the autonomous district council areas where the toughest challenge we faced, because these are governed by traditional rules, and even during British time there was no survey in these areas. So with continuous efforts, now they are on board. Meghalaya is latest, where they have agreed to go for survey and land governance system. So they will definitely seek your guidance as well, because you are sitting there. So I think it's going to be immense help for them as well. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My next question to Dr. S.P. Agrawal. We all know that NESAC is playing a key player when it comes to using geospatial technologies for improved governance in the northeastern region. Would you like to highlight any specific examples where these technologies have been translated into practical solutions for mission mode projects?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank AGI for inviting me from far away from here, because government policies now look east. Now I will take this opportunity first to tell you about the northeast region, then I will come to the topic. So you may be aware this northeast region is very, very important region for this country. It has only 8% land of the country. However, it has 24% forest cover of the country. So you can see the importance of this area. Not only that, it has 30% of water resources of the country. So you can imagine that when we are talking about the environment security, it lies with the northeast region. We are talking about the water security, it lies with the northeast region. Not only that, It has 44% hydropower potential of the country. To be very precise, the total hydropower potential of Northeast region is 66,000 megawatt. So far we are harnessing only 2,000 megawatt. So you can see that ample opportunities are there to work in Northeast to enrich the country. Another very important thing is it is the second biggest hot spot of biodiversity in the world. And another very, very important thing, which Survey of India officials are aware about it, it has more than 5,000 kilometer international boundary. So you can understand the importance of Northeast region. Not only that, it has all kind of topography. When we are talking about the mountains of Jammu and Kashmir, mountains of Himachal Pradesh, mountains of Uttarakhand, similar kind of mountains are there in Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh. If we are talking about the hills of this region, similar kind of hills are there in Mizoram, Manipur and Nagaland. When we are talking about the plain area, similar kind of like a Gangetic plain, similar kind of plains are there in Northeast region like Assam plain, Brahmaputra plains or part of Tripura plains. If you are talking about the Deccan Plateau, yes, in northeastern region, we have a Meghalaya Plateau. So all kind of topography is there, all kind of natural resources there, but then we have lot of disasters also, especially the monsoonal disaster or water hydro disasters, hydrometeorological disasters. So when we are talking about the problems, all are there. When we are talking about the system, all are there. Now it's up to us to work for the development of Northeast region. Ample opportunities are there for geospatial industry. In many other forum, I told very specifically, we are talking about 1,000 crore rupees, 2,000 crore rupees. More than that, it is required for Northeast region. Government departments are ready to give the money. Now I'll come to the specific project, sir, what you have asked. So, very important project this for today, that AGI has given us the award. It is a Northeastern Spatial Data Repository. Now what we have here, we have been given this project, and it's a very good regional example of regional collaborations, because we have to collaborate for this project with the all state remote sensing center. We have to collaborate with the all different departments like agriculture department, forest department. So we work together and we could able to get a very nice database system, that is a Northeastern Spatial Database Repository. And this repository is having currently 1,300 database layers. You can imagine 1,300 database layers, which include, for example, water. It has 22 water resource layers. For example, river system, drainage network, bridge on the river, culvert on the drainage, check dams, like that 22 watt. Like that we are having 1,300 data layers in this. Now, what is the outcome of this work? This work is basically done in last 3 years. What is the outcome? Which is very, very important. Now, 65 departments of all states, all 8 states are utilizing this project. Means they are downloading the data. Now, this data is free of cost. Any government department can download the data. Only thing is he has to do, because the web portal is nesdr.gov.in, simple, or you can Google it also, you will reach there. What you have to do, you have to simply fill a form, and then the form will be, you can submit the form online only, and then it will come to us. We will scrutinize it, and we will see that it's genuinely required or not, or it's genuinely a government department. Then we will give this data to all the government departments who is requiring. So last 2 years, the total 65 departments have downloaded this data. So this is a classical example. Then later, I have also took the feedback from all these departments for what you are using it. And I am surprised to know they are using it for example, water resources, water resource management, planning for expansion of irrigation area, road, planning for expansion of the road, agriculture, planning of the expansion of horticulture area. Like that they are using this. So this is the end result of our work which we have done through NESDR. Now second work which I want to highlight, sir, because currently I am having 131 projects, but I am giving only 4 examples. So one is this. Second is, which is also very, very important, and in fact this has been given by Honorable Home Minister himself in a meeting. Because in Northeast region there is a lot of gap areas as far as the facility is concerned, like health facility. So we have the data. Now we have, for example, we have a road data like national highway, it is already mapped. State highway, it is already mapped. In fact, it is available in Gati Shakti also. But then we have a district roads, we have a taluk roads, we have even village roads also. That is one. Second, we have mapped all the health center of the entire Northeast region. We have mapped all the education center of Northeast region. Now we have mapped all the villages of the Northeast region. Now we superimpose all these layers and we could get within 5 kilometers if I am having that health center or education center, within 1 kilometer if I am having any. So what are the gap areas? Such kind of analysis has been done from our center, and now we are going to submit this report to individual states. All 8 states, we are ready to submit the report. Third one, which is also very, very important, is that disaster, flood early warning system. And this is the very, that flagship program of Northeastern Space Application Center. What we are doing. In the morning, Dr. Mahapatra was speaking about the weather forecasting or weather or cyclone. We too have different kind of system. For example, we have a HPC and we download the data from different satellites, important data which is required for weather prediction. We have a Doppler weather radar at Cherrapunji. We have put at Cherrapunji, there's a logical reason of it because all the moisture is coming either from Bay of Bengal and then feedback from the Bangladesh plains, and it is reaching up the atmosphere and finally coming to the Northeast region. So we have a Doppler weather radar there also, and we have many AWS all across the Northeast region. We take all the data and we are working in the ensemble models, weather models, and finally we are predicting the rainfall for 24 hours, 48 hours and 36 hours. So then after that, once we predict, now everything is automation. What we have done, it take all the data automatically, it feed into the WRF model, then the result will be in the form of prediction of the rainfall. The next step what we are doing, again it is automated. This rainfall is the input to my hydrological model. So what I have done, 43 tributary of Brahmaputra basin, we have already established the model, and the moment we find this is the red area, automatically the data input, the rainfall input data will go to that model, hydrological model, and finally it will prepare the hydrograph at different locations. And based on that, it will give, it is going to be flooded. But then what kind of flood? So 4 categories are there. Simply advisory, be ready. Second one is the low flood alert level. Third one is the moderate flood. And fourth one is the, heavy flood. I am happy to tell you, in 22, we have given 60 alert, 58 were correct. In 23, we have given 48 alerts, 45 were correct. And this we are giving to whom? This we are giving to Assam State Disaster Management Authority and District Disaster Management Authority. So this is what we are doing using special technology, geospatial technology, using space data, all integration of all, we are giving it. Another one which is also very, very important, and this project is becoming very popular also, SLIS-G, Space-Based Land Use Intelligence System for Guwahati. Now what we are doing here, we have prepared the footprint map of entire metropolitan city of Guwahati. Now, this data again is a classical example, the collaboration between different departments. We are collaborating with municipality, we are collaborating with the government of that land revenue department, we are collaborating with the police department also. So different departments even that mayor and all, we are working with them. Now, what is this? Footprint map of entire Guwahati city are prepared. Now, every house, every building, every land parcel has been given like it is a government land, private land, like that only. Now this database is prepared, almost done. Now next step is we are going to use the AI, ML and space-based data. So what we are getting, every 15 days we are getting satellite data of 30 centimeter resolution. Now any change we find, it's again through automated AL algorithm, any change we find like any encroachment is there on the government land, it will be given, information will be given, and it's automated, it will go to not only the municipality, it will go to the government of Assam also, and also it will go to the police, particular police thana will be there, it will also go to the SP of that area. So this kind of integrated work we have done. So these are the few examples I want to give you that geospatial technology is used a lot in Northeast region and lot is required, and we seek help of the geospatial industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We all knew that NISAC is contributing a lot, but today first-hand information with in detail. Thank you so much for taking us through. Next question is to Vinay. Vinay, we heard your presentation. You have the capacity and capability, but tell us how can the government engage technology company like yours or other in India in co-developing and deploying geospatial solution for mission mode projects
So, thank you.
rather than awarding works.
Right. Of course, awarding is one part of the work that we do, but then.
But that you have to win.
Yeah, sure. So the very important aspect, like some of the projects that we are co-creating with governments to see that how geospatial technologies can speeden up the complete workflow and synergize, right? So I mean, I'll take an example of Kerala as well. So that's an awarded project though, but then there was just not that we did not look at only what is there in the bill of materials and what we need to supply. We looked at how we can co-create with government to see how the process can be improved. Like say we've gone one step ahead in terms of the e-mutation process also to see how the e-mutation can be automated and how that can be done. So similarly, one of the other project I was showing you, the digital twin for the urban cities, right? So the government of Telangana wants to actually create digital twins for some of the dams, whether the Kaleshwaram Dam and all. That's right now on the top on the list. And they also want to do something for the hospital management systems to improve the healthcare of the in the Telangana. So as part of some of the CSR activities that we are doing together to see that how, of course that's, I mean it's not an awarded kind of project which is a sizable amount, but then we are trying to do something, build the whole thing in such a way that the solutions can be brought into the to the government processes and we can improve the speed. Apart from this, I mean, this is in terms of how the government is actually moving towards, but we are also looking at how the industries, non-geospatial industries can start using it. We are also co-creating something like a co-worker space. Right? Supposing the idea is like, every one of us take our cars to the service centers, and most of the time it takes is like the part is not available here. It has to come from somewhere, right? And that's a pain, right? So we are trying to see how I mean they are all geospatially different places where the parts are available and what is not there. So we are connecting the ERP packages and the geospatial locations so that we can connect together and make sure that you go to looking at the citizen goes to the service center. He spends about 3 hours for his service based on the type of the service, and he gets the vehicle right out there. So that's kind of where we are making the industries to be geospatially aware, right, to see how that can be done. Internally, that would help in the governance. May not be directly to the government, but then in terms of how that is. So these are different initiatives what we are doing. Some we are started to work with the startup programs. I mean, you are already aware that there are 200 plus startups in geospatial industries, right? And we have created a program within Hexagon where we are calling the startups to showcase different technologies, how they have looked at some of the examples. Like I was given in problem statement by the Gujarat government, where in the Gir forest the animals come on the railway track and we are unnecessarily losing out. So they asked us how we can, I mean placing cameras all along the railway track is difficult. So we are trying to see how we can embed the AI based cameras on the engines so that that can be avoided. Then places like collision avoidance systems for the railways is something that we are trying to build kind of a solution where such kind of accidents don't happen. So we are though we are building technologies within the organization, but we are trying to see, we are pushing the technologies to an extent that using whatever the AI, ML, deep learnings, all kinds of algorithms to see how we can make sure that the technology can be simplified. It may be, I mean, there may be a lot of complex algorithms at the back end, but ultimately it can be simplified and provides the right kind of support in the right moment of time. That's the main thing that we were working on. So that's
Thank you so much. Very interesting cases which you have highlighted. My next question to Sumit ji. We have been hearing since morning from various experts the role of geospatial technologies in various mission mode projects. How do you view the role of innovation and capacity building in steering geospatial technologies for more cross-sectoral adoption?
Thank you, Girishji, and thank you, AGI, for inviting us. I think as a part of this forum, there are so many seniors, so people who have known. I think we cannot never deny the crucial aspect of capacity building and innovation in the mission mode projects. We have the industry, we have the government, we are all are looking for good people that can work on these projects. And to do that, there are three aspects that I would like to highlight in terms of creating the capacity and innovation. So first one is which is more of the requirement to understand the shortcomings that we have. So there is an acknowledgement that we have to understand of the geospatial divide. The other picture, please, Sakshi. So the digital divide, geospatial digital divide, which is spoken in the National Geospatial Policy, in the IGIF, is not always acknowledged, and there is a very limited capacity right now across the demography in geospatial technology as on what we need for this country. I mean, Rajesh ji has been advocating this for a long time. So this is the what part of it. I think the bigger part of it is how we can go ahead from here, which is where GIC Hub, and what the picture that you see is actually a girl from a Zilla Parishad office who is looking at the maps of her own village, locating her own village. The spatial thinking, the ability to understand geospatial information, the transformation at all levels, that is what I would like to focus on. That is the how. We at GIC Hub have focused on project-based learning. Many of the projects that are being done are basically the beds of learning for future leaders. The interdisciplinary breaking down of civil versus engineering versus science versus, so all the interdisciplinary learning is the basis of the other aspect of how. And I think the innovation challenges, the picture that she was showing earlier, Sakshi, you can flip that. So I will just give two small examples, I think. One is, this is, since Secretary Borasa has left, but this is a startup that has come out of IIT Bombay, looking at DOLR problems. So way back in the COVID times, when we were sitting in our home offices, we were posed with the very challenge of reconciling areas to the village, total village area and all that, and the question of how can this be done using computational geometry. And some of our faculty members decided to have computational geometry as a part of the curriculum, and some of the students would take up the projects, which we are very happy to announce that in Maharashtra government there's a fair amount of success along with the industry partner to reconcile with a lot of these land parcels. And then now Himachal Pradesh has also asked for a similar activity. So if you see the story here in the mission mode project, how we are including the basic understanding from understanding the computational geometry, the fundamentals, all the way to a startup. That is the process that I would say is the how. And when is very critical. It is now. We have to start investing in our capacity building. We are doing it, and the 3 P's I would say: patience, perseverance, and persistence. So hopefully we can get there to build the nation, the theme of our topic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sumitji. Thank you. We are running against the time already. We have overshot. I'd like to conclude. Any questions? Yeah.
Sir, how do you see LiDAR as the future for this kind of service, for the land record surveillance?
No, LiDAR is already in place and in use in I'll give it an example of Bihar. In 2012 itself, the government of Bihar decided to go for complete LiDAR. So they had both the cameras on board. And LiDAR is very effective when it comes to vegetation, and like in case of, and generally we have good vegetation in rural areas and where land records are, or even urban areas. So LiDAR, I don't see any challenge because it has to be adopted. And I'm sure we have already adopted in many cases, like I gave an example of Namami Gange and National Hydrology Project. LiDAR has been used very effectively. In Kedarnath also, after the Kedarnath tragedy, LiDAR was used. So LiDAR has been in use. Only thing is that now, like in case of Kerala, we tried the optical drone and it was failure because of the vegetation. We couldn't see the pilar and the properties, the corners of the properties. Either you include the ground technologies or go for the LiDAR. So LiDAR is, I don't see any challenge in that. It has to be adopted in the country, and it is a good tool and gives a very good solution where you can't access it and vegetation is there, forest cover is there. Like I gave an example of the spring regeneration. The LiDAR has been used. So LiDAR has to be, it is here to stay, and it has to be adopted and accepted.
Thank you, sir.
Can I add a comment to that one?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I just want to inform. LiDAR assets don't take it as a face value because our survey can use it.
See, the question is, the LiDAR, when you are going to use it, it gives only the ellipsoidal height because it has got only GPS on board. The height you get on the ground has got nothing to do with the water flow criteria. You need to have a precise geoid model for converting that ellipsoidal height to orthometric height or the height which follows the water flow criteria. Is it okay? So if you are having to go for the land and everything you want to see, how the canal will be planned or how the water will flow or where that drainage and this thing is going to be taken up, then you have to be a little careful. Yes, LiDAR is good, very fast. LiDAR height measured is within a centimeter accuracy. That is the LiDAR link to that one. Beyond that, whatever the model which you want, say for example, I want a 1 meter contour to be drawn. The height accuracy has to be 20 centimeters. You cannot use the global model for getting what should be the undulation. So that point you have to keep it in mind. Because LiDAR is useful because it penetrates through the forest, no other survey can take it up. It is wonderful, it is fast, it can give you the best. But when you want to start talking about the height, water flow, where the maintenance, then you have to take the risk. That's what I want.
No, thank you so much, sir. In fact, when I was telling about the various applications,
that's what I wanted to
about
add to
the
what
infrastructure, I missed out on geoid.
Geoid.
See, when I say that we are using LiDAR, it means the geoid model has been developed for those pockets. And also, yes, under NHP we have developed for Jharkhand, Bihar, West Bengal, Uttarakhand, Haryana, all these states, the geoid model has already been developed, and the ellipsoidal height has been converted to the orthometric height. Thank you, sir. Thank you for finding out.
In fact, a very nice panel discussion. I am Vishnu Chandra, former DDG NIC and now advisor in Ministry of Panchayati Raj. In fact, I just want to give certain things, certain opportunities in government, particularly Panchayati Raj, and we need solutions for that. This is what I just want to say about it. Swamitva scheme, CORS network, drone and all that has opened up lot of opportunities. Property card is, of course, a direct outcome. Country is getting benefited. But NIC is also technology partner. There is a thought to have a program, a scheme for spatial planning, which is again a value-added services at top of whatever drone data has been captured, further integrated with, say, agriculture area data. So that is a one opportunity. And of course, when we have to integrate Abadi area, non-Abadi area, legacy maps, use of CORS network, rovers, so whole range of standards and approach strategy for different topography, how to integrate data. So data integration and on same reference system, bringing large scale satellite base map. Today I am fusing drone image of Abadi area at top of open source large scale satellite image so that I can give the same seamless view of a village, which is not a very accurate one. So this is one part in terms of where industry can play a role, how we should go about it, and how state government particularly can be empowered to go for that. And then, of course, budgeting scheme and all that is investment is also an important part of it. Other is value added feature extraction in an automated manner for a specific solution requirement. I will give an example. Drone image, including DTM, is flowing from Survey of India to NIC. There is a requirement of solarization in Panchayat. So we are extracting, we have created POC to extract feature, okay, which are the houses which have a pakka concrete roof or tin roof or RCC structure. And based on MNRE criteria, we have assessed the demand of solarization. Now, this whole feature extraction process for that specific application has to be automated, maybe using AI ML. So we need, this is one example where opportunities are coming. Then what you call, of course, large scale base map, feature classification. Then, of course, Professor Sumit talked about the capacity building. That is we have a Gram Manchitra platform, grammanchitra.gov.in, you can see that. But whatever the utilities and services which we are creating, it is not used by Panchayat functionaries. So how to handhold and build capacity and tools. We have recently Inter-IIT challenge was there. We have given this problem to student to create a gaming application, and in gaming application, we are streaming the drone image, and through game they are planning assets in Panchayat, where some spatial design thinking we are partnering with the School of Planning and Architectures across the country, certain design concept can be introduced so that that kind of tool can be made available or demystify how to make Panchayat functionary to use solarization tool developed on such a high-tech platform. Incubation is needed there or at the grassroots level. So that is a huge challenge, and how state government can be empowered and all this thing can be embedded in some scheme. So there is thought process of having a spatial planning scheme in that direction. And particularly challenge is more for around 10,000 panchayats which are closer to national and state highways, which are closer to big cities, peri-urban areas, that is around 10,000 numbers, which are the future growth center or urban growth will go towards that direction. So that is.
Thank you so much. We need a separate conference for all these issues. प्रमोद जी, आपने बड़ा अनफेयर किया हमारे साथ, 1 घंटा दे के, हमें तो पूरा दिन चाहिए था। अभी हम सब पेट में गैस हो गई है, सब क्वेश्चन लेके जा रहे हैं वापस। Okay. I think we need to close because we can't be so unfair to the next session and tea break also. Thank you so much to my fellow panelists, and thank you so much AGI for giving us this opportunity, and thank you so much audience for for tolerating us and hearing us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be having a short break now for 15 minutes. And we have a very interesting another session planned for you after the break. We have key officials from different line ministries. So I hope we can all